Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Tolomeo. I am primary faculty with the University of Pittsburgh's PA Hybrid program. I am also the Director of Student Assessment and Remediation in that program, here to discuss today some effective remediation strategies. And so we start, what is remediation? It consists of two parts. The first is going to be the identification, and that is identifying the students who are falling behind or maybe struggling and not meeting the competencies at a timely manner. And the second step is, what are the interventions that you are doing as a program or faculty to help that student catch up and meet those competencies in a timely manner? There are many barriers to effective remediation strategies. The first is going to be how resource intensive it is, and time is really the biggest resource. A lot of time has to go into it both from faculty and student perspective. Next is going to be a lack of guidance both from national bodies and accrediting agencies, and this was kind of caused by the lack of research recently, but over the last couple years, there has been an increase in the research that's showing what are effective remediation strategies which can guide us, but they haven't quite set in, and we'll talk about that in a second. Next is just think about, what did you feel when you read the word remediation, or every time you hear the word remediation. Oftentimes it's a negative connotation, either a feeling of inadequacy or failure, or as faculty, a significant workload. And then lastly are the training gaps. If there's no training to educate current or new faculty from how to do appropriate and effective remediation strategies, then what lingers are those ineffective strategies where individuals just kind of latch onto what they received as a student, and this perpetuates, again, those ineffective strategies, as well as can perpetuate some biases as well. And some of those ineffective strategies that we see are going to be automated processes. Not so much automatic in identifying the students, but automated in the intervention aspect of it. And the best example, most common example of this is a number of students fail an exam, and then all of those students get the same exact assignment to look up the correct answer to every question they got wrong. That's not addressing the root problem. Instead, it's promoting that desire for superficial, quick knowledge that they don't need in the future instead of the understanding. And that really is the second ineffective strategy here, is that focusing on that quick fix, that quick superficial knowledge instead of a deeper understanding, which is going to, again, maybe appear to offer a fix and a benefit and progress in the near term, but is not going to be a long-term success strategy. Next is really down to the faculty, and this is going to be a malalignment between the curriculum and the assessment. Are you truly assessing what is being taught, and are you teaching what should be assessed? This isn't to say teach to the test, but more so make sure you have well-developed learning outcomes and instructional objectives, and make sure that you are teaching to those and then also assessing those exact points. And lastly is going to be poor follow-up. If it's unsure what the student should be achieving, they're not going to be sure what they're supposed to be achieving. They're just going to try to get a short-term goal out of the way so they can move on, and then they'll likely continue doing the same ineffective strategies they were doing. So what are some of the data-supported strategies? The biggest one, in my opinion, is going to be that early identification. Again, time is a big resource that's required, so the earlier you can identify, the more time you have to intervene. Next is going to be the holistic approach. Make sure we are assessing the student as a whole, not just down to their grades, really seeing if we can find that cause and addressing that root cause. Next is going to be, there's significant data showing that if students have buy-in to the process, they're more likely to find that long-term success. So include them in the process. Include them in what the plan is going to be, what the follow-up will be, what the goals will be. Next up come down to support, both from the institution and department, as well as what you're doing in the program. Do you have appropriate faculty-student ratio? Do you have the third-party resources available, financial aid resources, mental health resources available, tutors available to support the students? And lastly is normalize remediation. Remember, this is a growth opportunity. This does not mean failure. It's an opportunity to continue to learn. And then how can we see this in a program? And this is kind of how our program does it. I've had a direct hand in developing this. And so we have two ways of looking at it, both from the course and the program perspective. If it's a course, we have our supporting and major assessments. Supporting and be more formative assessments, which are already learning opportunities, don't require remediation. The major assessments, though, we have a big range. Less than 70, you definitely have to have an individual meeting. Between that 70 to 80 group, they're going to join for a bigger review, cover some concepts to make sure they are having a touch point. And then really, you as a faculty reach out to the students who need additional help, meet individually. We also have advisors that are going to be checking in on the students based on their grades across all courses, including putting on a student success pathway, which is more frequent check-ins, in-person meetings, ensuring that they're utilizing their resources if we start seeing course grades below an 80%. But that's not a perfect system, and it never will be perfect, but we'll continue working on it. And so it's really important to continue gathering data, both the student and faculty perspective. Students, do they feel it's effective? Faculty, is it manageable? What is their workload? And also, do they feel it's effective? And then we can watch maybe student grades as well and see how they continue to improve. That is all I have for our discussion on remediation. Thank you all for your time. Here's my email. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and here are my references. Thank you.